It's 5 weeks in. Dylan has an idea that he thinks might help Miss Obi. He wants the students to observe her class and then offer advice on how she can improve.
When teachers are thinking about how to improve their practice, one of the greatest resources in the school is untapped, the students themselves. Students have amazing insight into their own learning, and they can give advice to the teachers about how to improve. I don't think teachers should be afraid of asking the students for advice.
I never really tell the teacher what I thought of the lesson because they might consider it quite rude if I were to comment on their teaching styles.
I don't think a teacher's ever asked me what I thought of the lesson. Unless it's another teacher asking how it went or how I behaved, but not the actual teacher that was teaching the lesson.
Teachers never ask me what I thought of a lesson, and I think that's quite bad really because we're students and the only people who know about how good a lesson was is us, not people who write books about how to make lessons, not the government. It's just the students.
The idea is controversial. Some believe it undermines the professionalism and authority of teachers. But Dylan thinks that if it's done properly, it can be a win-win situation. Miss Obi is up for having a go.
If you've done something wrong and someone tells you about that in a very good and professional manner and offers help on ways to improve your practice, I think is a very good idea, and I love it so much because I always love to learn from my mistakes.
That's how you spell.
Dylan chooses several students, including Sid and Katie, for student observer training.
So you've got to be really professional because the teacher has to trust you and has to trust what you've got to say. Okay?
They learn how to analyse a lesson, examine how much learning takes place, and give constructive criticism without getting personal.
You need respect because if you haven't got respect for someone, then you can't really give good feedback about them. And honesty, because if you're not honest with the feedback, then there's really no point of giving feedback because the point of this is to actually tell it like it is.
Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. So when you have your first meeting with them, you can share sort of what you looked at in this training.
Sid and Katie meet with Miss Obi to find out what areas she wants them to consider.
I would like you guys to observe if I give the students enough waiting time to give me a response from the question I've asked. The next thing is the pace of the lesson. And the last one is behaviour, obviously. You know this must always come up, isn't it?
Yeah.
So behaviour.
For Katie, it's a very new experience. Having struggled in maths, she is now in a position to advise Miss Obi.
Well, maybe it while you're teaching. It is a responsibility, but then it's a privilege as well for us to be chosen out of the whole form.
For a teacher to allow you into the classroom and give feedback, I think there's got to be some trust, really. So I think it's quite a big privilege to be able to be put in that position.
5x minus 5 equals...
It's time for them to observe her lesson.
X is 5. What is 3x? Jamie, have you completed another one? Are you able to do it? I'm doing it again. Shh. 2x plus 3 equals... Cross the magical bridge. Yes, Dean. Shh. Taylor, you know what to do. I've explained how to do this to you.
There's quite a lot of people with their hands up, but there wouldn't be so many people with their hands up if, not as many people was misbehaving during the demonstration. Quickly helps stop students good marking while we're working.
Because 2 days later, they're ready to face Miss Obi.
So on average, what do you think? Do you think the lesson was entirely bad?
I think the teaching side of it was quite good. it was like really good. But the behaviour side of it was just affecting the learning.
Students sort of sometimes seem to be taking advantage of you. And when your back was turned, they would stop doing the work and just wander around and talk to their friends.
I think we counted it as only about 5 or 6 people actually doing the work and not turning around talking to people.
So that's, in essence, being more strict.
Me and Sid had a thought, you should get, all the people who had a red cup, because if there's, loads of them who has a red cup up, it would take more of your time and you're running around the classroom. Me and Sid thought, you should get them into a group and explain it with all of them at one time.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
We thought it went quite well, the interview. I think that she took on board the feedback quite well. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Sid. She seemed to take in everything that we said.
I think it must be quite hard to be a teacher because you've got all these things that you've got to keep on top of, do people not understand the work? Are you praising enough people? Are people being silly and not doing it at all?
Now I have realised how hard it is and how much work Miss goes through to do all the lessons plus deal with all the students. So I think I will think twice about my behaviour now.
I think they were very, very constructive in their feedback. They've really put in so much effort into this, and it's really, really useful because they obviously saw everything that happened in the lessons.
Halfway through the term, and the atmosphere in Miss Obi's class has changed.
Have you corrected all of them? Excellent.
Along with Dylan's techniques, she's implementing some of Sid and Katie's ideas.
If you're on bread, can I ask you to come forward, please? This face is made of rectangle. What is the length and the width of that rectangle? This one? Katie, what is the length and the width?
4 and 6.
4 and 6. Well done. So
It felt nice to know that a teacher's finally listening to our opinions on how maybe how to do something different in the lesson, and it feels nice.
What should I do, Holly? Times what? So 18 times 2 is Kiran? 18, 30,
36.
Excellent. It's 48 centimeters. I've learned so much, and it's just finding ways to making it my own teaching habit and improving on it, because you keep learning every day anyway. But if I just take what I've got now, run with it, put in some more efforts, put in some more planning into it, I think it will be really nice.
Have you noticed much of a change in the students?
I feel like there are different students now. They are more actively engaged in classroom discussion, in work, in talking to their peers, asking for help from the teacher, which most of them didn't do earlier. Yeah. 6 times 2, 5 times 6. Yeah, that's right.
For less confident kids like Katie, there's good news.
Oh, excellent. Well done.
And I know you don't find maths easy, but your teacher has said that you are one of the most improved students this year. How does that feel? Does that feel...
Makes me feel well proud of myself.
Good. Yeah. And is this something you think you're going to be able to carry on, this increased attention?
Yeah, because before I didn't really know that I could get better maths, but now that she said I'm one of the most improved, I know that I can do it then.
Yeah, I think it is most...
For straight A students like Emily, there's learning of a different kind.
I listen to people more because I've actually noticed that some people are a lot smarter than I used to think because they've had their chance to share now, and I think if the sticks do go or if they stay, I definitely give other people a go as well.
Before, what would happen is you'd get a group of about 6 people who would always be answering the questions, but now it's a lot more, everyone's in the same group and it's just a lot more people getting picked out, so everyone has to know the answer.
Right.
It's the last day before half-term break. And just when everyone thought the experiment was running smoothly, there's a new problem. Dylan hears that someone's sticks have gone missing from the teacher's pots.
Really? Which pot? My pot? Have they actually?
Was it the more talkative ones? Maybe I should place my words better, more carefully. That decided they didn't want their names in the pot. Perhaps they felt they weren't getting a say in the class. Perhaps they felt they were being neglected or left out.
I'm very shocked if they did take the sticks out. At the same time, very intrigued. I'd like to know why they felt that they had to take their name out.
So whose name is missing?
Shall we have a look?
Kieran. There we go. No, there he is. Oh, really? That's very interesting.
That's quite devious. Quite clever as well.
Very odd.
The point of the techniques is to engage everyone. But halfway through the experiment, for at least one student, it's clearly not working.